Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today's video was previously shared on the Altenew YouTube channel, but I thought you would enjoy seeing it here as well. Today I am sharing two cards that feature some brand new products from Altenew, and I am going to show you how to create watercolor effects with press plates. Now these Geometric Essentials press plates are perfect for this. There are 3 press plates included, including this large solid press plate, and that's going to be our friend. Now there is a circle version, which I just showed you, and also this square version, and I'm going to be using both of those today. I'll also be using the new One Go Solid Sentiment Strip set. Now this is available with the press plate as well as the dies. And the one thing I wanted to show you about this die is that there's actually a little bit of bleed. The die is slightly smaller than the press plate design, and that allows you to get edge to edge color on your sentiment strips. This was a really well thought out design. Finally, I'll be using the Zero Waste Autumn Leaves die. This is so cool because it creates all of these leaf shapes with one pass of the die cut machine. Now I'm starting here with my Better Press platform. This is actually called the Chase and the Platen. So this base platform is called the Chase, and you can see it has this magnetic mat in it that will hold your press plates in place. Now there is a little wiggle room, and in case I need to press something twice to get the intensity of color that I want, I like to take a little bit of the satin masking tape and tape that magnetic mat in place so it takes away that wiggle. Now I have some Better Press porcelain cardstock here that I'll be using for my press plate designs today, but you could also use watercolor cardstock. That would be perfect for this technique as well. And I'm holding it in place on the platen, which is that clear plate, using some more of the satin masking tape. I'll position my circle here at the top of that A2 size card area that's marked by the grid lines. And I'm just making sure that it's equidistant from each side and also from the top, just making sure I get it into the perfect position before I start inking it. Now, if you do ink it up and it's not in the right position, you can nudge it into place, and I'll show you that here in a bit. I've grabbed some Altenew ink colors. I love this fall color palette. It features rouge and Sicilian amber, some pumpkin pie, moss, yellow ochre, and butternut. I'm just grabbing a bunch of different colors. In a bit, I'll use some cardstock colors as well. And I'm basically just swiping my ink pad across this press plate, filling up the entire area with various colors that will kind of mix and meld well with each other. I am trying to keep colors that will kind of mix and meld together well next to each other. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to spritz it a couple of times with water and place the platen on the Chase and run that through my die cut machine. And you can see I have a beautiful watercolor effect. I'm going to do the same thing with the Geometric Essentials square press plate set, and I'm going to use some different colors. Now, one thing I did want to note is that I actually lost a ton of my footage for these cards. All of this process, I am refilming here for this video, so I can show you how this technique works. So you may notice that later on in the video, the backgrounds that I'm creating now don't exactly match the backgrounds that the finished completed card projects include. And that's just because, again, I lost a bunch of footage and I just had no way of redoing this other than to refilm this part. So the process is the same, but the colors might be in different spots. Now I added my ink again to that Essentials square press plate and I spritzed it with water, ran that through my die cut machine. Now I'm taking the smaller pattern. You can see that this little circle pattern kind of moved on me when I was inking it up, so I used my Perfect Picker tool to kind of nudge it back into place. And I'm adding some antique gold circles and squares to those larger designs to kind of break up the pattern and give a little more texture. Now the One Go Solid Sentiments, I inked those up and I didn't think they were quite dark enough. So I ran that through once and then I re-inked the plate without moving anything and ran that through my die cut machine again. And that created a beautiful solid impression of these press plates onto that Better Press cardstock. Now I'm taking the coordinating One Go Solid Sentiment Strips die and I'm die cutting all of those sentiments at once. I repeated that using some antique gold pigment ink so that I have some gold sentiment strips as well. And now I'm starting to kind of build the arrangement of my card. So I'm taking some of my favorite sentiment strips and setting those aside so that I can find out which one is the best for my completed card project. And then I'm going to take some of these leaves, which I've die cut from various colors of Altenew Crafty Necessities cardstock, and I'm going to start arranging these onto these watercolor backgrounds that I've created with those press plates. Now I have used Pastel Sunrise, Moss, Pumpkin Pie, Coral Bliss, Brushed Gold, and Sicilian Amber cardstocks, all from Altenew, to create all of these die cuts off screen. And from here, it's really just a matter of arranging things. So I'm trying to add some gold here and there. I'm sprinkling the colors throughout the arrangements. And once I get the leaves picked out for each card, I'm going to transfer them over to my 9x12 sticky mat. And I'm going to take the coordinating ink colors for these cardstocks, and I'm going to do a little blending at the base of each leaf. Now, actually, I'm using Dusty Pink on the Pastel Sunrise cardstock. I love that effect. They're beautiful together. But for the rest of them, I'm using the same color ink as I used cardstock to add my ink blending. I am using the micro blending brushes for this process because it helps me control where the ink goes, and then I'll rearrange them back onto my card project. Now, because I don't want to keep arranging and rearranging, I'm going to figure out my pattern or my design, my arrangement here, and then I'm going to take some satin masking tape from Altenew and hold a bunch of those leaves together and then start adhering. So I want them on various levels. I'm using some liquid glue for these up here. And then I'll take some instant dimension foam tape and apply it to the back side of all of these leaves that are kind of grouped together on this masking tape. I'll remove the backer for that foam adhesive, and then I can place them all at once using the satin masking tape once they're adhered down. I'll remove the tape and then tuck in these other couple of leaves that kind of got separated from the masking tape. Now I decided I wanted to tuck in a couple of these little twiggy items here from the Zero Waste Autumn Leaves die, so I did that with some liquid glue, and now I'm applying my sentiment strip with some foam adhesive, and that finishes off my design for the square version of this card. I did the same thing with the circle version, and now I am grabbing my metallic watercolor pan set from Altenew, and I keep this little spray bottle in my craft room, so I'm just spritzing those watercolors down with a little bit of water, and I'm going to get this gold color kind of moving around so that I can create some splatter. Now with a metallic watercolor like this, it may take a little bit of working with the brush and some water to get the paint to the consistency that you want it for splattering. And once I kind of worked that in, I am taking this paintbrush and adding some gold splatter to both cards. I didn't mind that it was kind of going to overlap some of those leaves, and I also let some of the splatter go onto the watercolor background as well. So I'm just kind of doing that until it feels right. And then I realized my Make It Sticky glue tape is empty. So I needed to put a replacement in, and I thought I would show you how to do this. So I've opened up the case using the button on the bottom of the dispenser, and then I've removed the cardboard piece that holds those reels in place as they're in the package. Then I just lined it up on the inside and closed it, and it's ready to go, ready for crafting. So I have two top folding A2 size card base that I created here. They measure 5.5 by 4.25 finished size. So I cut the cardstock to 4.25 by 11 inches and scored them at 5.5 to create these top folding bases. And I'm applying these card fronts directly onto the card bases. So there you have it, two card projects perfect for fall, featuring the Geometric Essentials squares and Geometric Essentials circles. I love how these cards turned out, and I love this faux watercolor technique using press plates. Now keep in mind, press plates are perfect for foiling techniques as well, so you can use them with your Glimmer hot foil system or whatever hot foil system you may have, and you would use them in the same way that you use a hot foil plate. So these products are really versatile and create some really fun designs. As always, I will have links to the featured products used in these projects in the description at YouTube, so if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there. You can also head on over to the coordinating blog post, which I'll have linked below as well. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. As always, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed these projects, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of the card making and paper crafting tutorials shared here. Give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to let me know in the comments which of these two cards is your favorite. Thanks again for watching. I'm so glad you're here, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the very end. You know, if you've made it this far, you are one of my favorites. To subscribe to my channel, go ahead and click the button on the left side of the screen, and here's a couple more video tutorials I thought you might enjoy.